All right, season 3, episode 7, The Walk. So we get this opening where this guy can't kill himself and he jumps into a pot of boiling water, dude.
Ugh.
Of like, I know I talk about this like a lot. There's no good way to die.
There is one good way to die.
I don't care.
The
I don't
one
want to
good
die.
way
Yeah,
is old and in your
in
sleep.
your sleep and blah blah blah. Like,
Pain-free.
I don't like thinking of going to sleep, thinking I'm gonna get up in the
But
morning
you
and I
won't
never.
know. You
I
wouldn't
know. I don't care.
But boiling
But
alive.
this is 100 million times worse.
Boiling alive is awful.
It might be worse than fire. I don't know. They're both pretty similar, I guess.
I feel like your body probably reacts a similar way, but
it would. I think
there's
you just go into
a point
shock.
where you would pass out.
Yeah, you just go into shock. This reminds me, of course, of Sleepaway Camp, when the pot of boiling water is poured on that guy.
Yeah.
When he falls over and they push him when he's on the ladder, and then his freaking skin is like bubbling up.
Oh my
and whatnot.
gosh!
Such
yeah.
a great shot.
Well,
damn, man, to jump in this pot like that is just like, really? This is the way you're gonna do it? I know you feel like you don't have any options. I love how fast water and stuff, like we just saw this movie Trap, and it's always the speed in which things heat up.
Oh yeah.
Like he turns up the oil in something and it's like instantly like bubbling, and it's like 2 seconds later it's like, dude, that would take fucking 5 minutes. Same thing with this. He turns it up and then the shit is like 220 degrees instantly, and I'm like, what's under there? Lava? It's ridiculous. But horrible way. Of course, he's alive. They can't kill him. And we do as my kids would be dancing to the music every time the open. They love the thing. I'm not even 100% sure if they even like the show.
No, they do.
They just love the music.
The show. They love Mulder and Scully. They totally do. I believe it. At first I was skeptical. I was like, I don't know if they really like it.
You're the Scully on that?
Yeah, I was the Scully on it. But now I'm Mulder because they have shown me memes. They got t-shirts so that they could have, in fact, the three of us, me and the girls, have a matching X-Files t-shirt.
Yeah.
And
they always ask for it when they come home.
They love it. They're super into it, which is awesome. I'm so happy they like it.
Sure. Anyway, okay. So, once again, Mulder and Scully are in their Ford Taurus, as always.
Always a Ford Taurus.
They are always renting a Ford Taurus.
FBI authorized vehicle that they can rent.
No, this is a freaking...
This is an advertisement.
Yeah, this is a deal they had with Ford. Why they wouldn't give them different Ford cars though every episode? They're different Ford Tauruses.
They're different colors.
They're different colors. Maybe they just paint them.
I don't know, but it makes me want to get a Ford Taurus. So I guess the advertising is working, even though they are 30-year-old cars.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't want a Taurus from that era.
But I would though, because I'd want it to look like that.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't want a Ford Taurus, but
I've
always noticed that they have them.
Yeah.
They drive them in 90% of the episodes. Every time they get one, it just so happens to be.
We'll try and point it out if we ever see them in another car. Probably in the later seasons, it'll be a new model.
Yeah, they definitely have driven different cars, but most often it's Ford Taurus, right? Like the car, like the SUV type car that he has at the beginning of season 2 that Scully and him run from, like it's in Commando and they're driving down the hillside.
Maybe they just have the one Ford Taurus and they just paint it different colors.
Literally just
did you
that.
say that? Oh, I'm sorry.
Maybe they just paint it.
Oh, I didn't know. I realized you said that.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, paint job. So this is like a misconception by people who don't know anything about that stuff. Painting a car is insanely expensive. Like, you would think it's not that expensive
because of all the little nooks and crannies.
But it's crazy expensive. Like thousands and thousands of dollars. Like you can buy a $2,000 car and a paint job on it. You're like, oh, I'll just paint it.
Yeah.
And the paint job is like $8,000. Oh. You're like, bro, I could buy a better car for that.
I would just paint it myself.
Already done.
It
would not look good. You're gonna use a roller?
Yeah, no, I would use a paintbrush and I would...
Paintbrush?
Yeah, I would paint it. Well, I'd use a roller on the big spots.
Yeah.
And then I'd use a paintbrush.
A roller?
I'd use a roller on the big spots and I'd use a paintbrush on all the little details, and then I would make little designs on it, and I'd
so
like
anyone who wants their car painted, please do not hire Kayla.
What does it matter what the paint looks like if it drives?
Then why paint it at all?
Well, if you wanted to paint it, like if you wanted to cover it up.
Why? You're saying what does it matter? It drives.
Well, like if it's all chipped.
But you don't care. Like, if you okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, I would rather drive in a car with some chipped paint than a roller painted car.
You wouldn't want me to customize the car?
I don't think you know how bad that would actually look.
I think it would look fine. I think I could do it. I'll paint my car today.
Nothing like it.
My car is
You're gonna
old
paint it
and
today.
Yeah, no, not today. Actually, it's 110 degrees outside.
Hence why the air conditioner's on.
Maybe I'll paint it in the winter.
That's that sound you hear in the background. Moving on. Talking about the Ford Taurus and you painting it for the last 5 minutes. This is why no one watches this channel. So in this episode, there is this moment that is crazy to me because you've got Mulder and Scully and this like military guy that come to the house to check on his wife, and they're already on high alert because, you know, something potentially is coming for this guy's wife. Mm-hmm. She's like, I think someone's in the house.
Oh, yeah.
And they all just straight up ignore her and are like, no.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Why are you not listening to her?
Right.
What are we talking about here? You guys came there specifically to check on her. You are there because you think something is possibly happening. She says someone's in the house because, like, the door just opens and someone, like, runs upstairs.
Yeah.
And she's like, someone's in this house. And they're like, nah, you're just crazy.
Yeah.
Even Mulder and Scully are just kind of like, ignore her until Scully looks in the backyard and is like, sees someone run by and she's like, someone's in the backyard. And they're like, oh, well, she's a credible witness. The other woman, I guess, is not.
I know.
But the FBI agent lady
we'll trust
knows
her.
what she's talking about. That was fucking crazy to me.
Yeah, talk about bad police work.
Oh, my God.
Am I right? Yeah.
Am I right? That really, like, took me by surprise because it was so stupid.
I agree.
Another familiar face here that we see is the guy who plays Stanford in Sex and the City. Most people think the show is called Sex in the City. Did you think it was called Sex in the City?
I feel like you've asked me this before, and I think I always thought of it as Sex and the City.
Okay, yes.
Because I feel like, isn't this, like, symbol like an ampersand or something? Like, isn't it, like, Sex ampersand the City?
I've seen every episode of Sex in the City, and I also saw both movies in theaters. I know most people would be surprised by that, but I loved Sex in the City. The second movie is absolutely pointless and totally fucking stupid. But the first movie's good, and I love the show. I was a big fan of it.
Yeah.
I have not watched the new show yet, though. I've heard nothing good about it, but I'm still interested because I did love the original show. The new one's called, like, it's like one of the lines from the show. It's been so long. I watched it literally like 20 years ago.
Yeah. When
I was like in my late teens. It's like, and fuck, I forget what it's called. Like, and something, whatever. But I'll watch it eventually. But maybe I won't. I don't know. But I believe it or not, I actually was a big fan of Sex and the City back in the day. I'm secretly gay, like Stanford. Okay. We watched these episodes like a week ago, and I'm literally looking at my notes going, okay, what's this episode about again? I know what the episode's about, but I'm like trying to remember as I read them. So what this all ends up being is there's this like crippled vet who has his arms and his legs cut off, and he's able to like astral project, leave his body, and basically fuck with them and take them, you know, their ability to, basically he takes everything from them, but doesn't allow them to kill themselves because he wants them to feel the misery he does. This, of course, is going to remind me of the song by Metallica, One.
Yeah.
Where the guy is
imprisoning me.
Stuck in his body and he can't really do anything about it. This guy has his vision, his hearing, his sense of touch.
Yeah.
He has actually all of his senses. He just doesn't have his limbs.
He doesn't, and he's they say something like you refuse to get fitted for prosthetics as well, which is like, I get it. I mean, I don't get it because I'm not an amputee, so I like, or I don't know, is there another word for like a full body amputee? Or is it so?
He's a quadriplegic.
So I don't know what that experience is like, obviously, but at the very least, I feel like if you could get fitted for some of the, like, your legs or something, like, I know that it's probably very painful and you have to go through, like, a ton of physical therapy in order to, like, use them, and especially
angry.
During that time, it's not, like, I think that prosthetics, like, nowadays are a lot different than they were in the 90s, of course, but yeah, I think pretty much anybody, if you lost all your limbs in, like, the war or something, like, you would be super mad. I think that you would be very bitter, and you would be like, I think it would be really hard to come to terms with, you know, and especially for him, because he's sitting there with, like, people in the room that have, like, just lost a leg, or, like, part of their leg, or, like, part of their arm, or one arm, or whatever, and, like, he's lost all of them, so he's like, you guys have it literally so much better than me.
This reminds me of the scene in Quiet Place Day One when they're doing, like, the talk around the sharing at the support group type thing, because he has a similar moment where it's kind of like, you all don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, I have it worse than you. It's the same thing with Day One. It's like, this place is shit, you're all shit. Like, I'm young and you're old. You know, you got to live your life, I don't. You know, it's always about perspective and like what's fair. And it's like, you lost one leg, but I lost all my limbs. It's like, it all sucks.
It does.
But one is objectively worse.
But this is also a good example of how, like, perspective matters, and, like, your outlook on things too. Because it's like, he might have lost that, but he's still alive.
He could also be blind and deaf.
Exactly.
Which would be just, oh my god.
But, like, yeah, he's still alive, and I think as long as you're living, like, no matter what handicap you or disability that you have to deal with, like, I don't know, I think that it's still better to be alive than not alive.
So my question to you, because I don't remember, why is he going after these guys specifically?
I thought that these are the guys that were, like, on his squad.
Okay.
The general isn't. The general, I don't think, even, like, knows him, but he, like, is the one that gave the order for whatever.
Is that what it is? Okay. I thought that's probably
all,
what it
like,
was, but couldn't remember.
He blames all of them for what happened.
I just thought, I don't know. I thought he was just like, you guys, you know, you guys think you have it bad. Let me show you how bad it is. But no, he feels like they're responsible.
Right.
I figured, but I didn't remember for sure. We also have the kid. Once again, we get a real dark scene here. The kid's playing in a sandbox. The Secret Service kind of guy, like, goes off for a second to, like, have a smoke, and then when he comes back, because this guy turns into, like,
he has, like,
elements.
A phantom body that you can, like, I mean, it's not just, it is astral projecting, but you can, like, interact with different elements, like you said, in the like area.
Water or
steam,
sand or
sand,
so he turns into the Sandman from Spider-Man, and he takes this kid under, because the kid has, like, this hole dug, and when they pull him out, he's dead. This kid is small, and he dies. This show's pretty brutal to kids.
It honestly is.
You know, that kid gets hit by a train a few episodes ago.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at that.
Fucking kid got hit by a train.
It's just kind of the way you said it. The kid got hit by a train. I think the X-Files, as far as, like, American shows go, it feels like, kids are not off limits when it comes to this. But because I was pretty surprised in this episode. I don't know why, because we've already seen child death, but, like...
Yeah, I was, too.
I was surprised. I was like, there's no way. Like, why? What? So...
Yeah, I was very surprised when they pulled him out and he was dead.
Yeah.
And they didn't, like, you know, try to do chest compressions or anything like usual.
Yeah.
We also get another familiar face in here as well. I noticed her instantly and had to look it up to confirm, and I was right. There's one of the nurses in this VA hospital is the actress who plays Pamela Voorhees in Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah.
Obviously, Betsy Palmer was dead at this point.
Yeah.
I think she was dead. No, I don't think she was dead. She wasn't called. She was either dead or she wasn't called. I don't think she was called for it. Or she was and she turned it down. I don't fucking know what happened, but she didn't do it. Whether she was dead or not, I don't remember. But this actress came in and played her instead. And even though she's only in that movie for fucking a minute, her face is always stuck in my memory for some reason. And when I saw her, she's much younger here. I was like, instantly, I was like, isn't that Freddy? Freddy. Isn't that the chick from Freddy vs. Jason?
Yeah.
Jason's mom? Yep, Betsy Palmer. So that was pretty cool. And I put no sleepwalking. Oh, the joke. Mulder
like, tells him.
Bam.
That's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
He laughs
because he's an asshole.
Yeah, he is.
So the quadriplegic guy is like talking real hard shit to Mulder and Scully, and he's like, I want to go, I'm going to take a nap, or like, I'm going to sleep, get the fuck out of here. And Mulder like leans down and he's like, all right, no sleepwalking.
Which is great because he's telling him, he's being mean to him, but he's also being like, project. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's a double entendre, but it's also mean and like a pithy retort to what this asshole's doing.
Yeah.
So, it's a great line. Mm-hmm. But the guy's like, I never heard. Like, I think he, like, genuinely is like, I've never heard that one before. Like, but then you can see it kind of hurts him, too.
Totally. Yeah. Totally, yeah.
So that's a great line. And... oh, yeah. Like, I don't understand how, like, he locks the door, the burn guy, and murders the dude right there in front of Scully, puts a pillow over his face.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's just, like, out, like, he's still at the hospital, like, just walking around as normal at the end of the episode. And I'm like, he didn't go to jail for that?
I know.
How?
I was pretty surprised by that as well. I don't understand how he didn't go to jail.
Like, I'm actually, I don't get that.
Maybe, well, I don't know. Maybe she doesn't actually see him put the pillow over it, so it's kind of like ambiguous.
She 100% does. There's a window. Okay. She's looking right at him and yelling at him, don't do it.
There's no, like, smoke or anything in there that's, like, obscuring it.
She 100% watches him kill her.
I don't know.
Kill him.
Maybe, I don't know.
There's nothing.
Mulder's
I got nothing
just like, he needed to die. So.
Yeah, why Scully?
They give him
because if it was Mulder,
pardon.
maybe I would be like, Mulder's like, believes him and is like, yeah, like, I'm just going to let it slide.
Yeah.
But Scully, she don't believe in this shit.
Yeah. That's a good point. I don't know.
This is the one with the water, like, behind the door, and it's, like, filling up the whole room. And then they Paddington right out.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, that's that. The Walk. Anything more? Nothing more? Okay. Don't sleepwalk.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, and if you want Kaylee to paint your car, give us a call.